Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed participants, a very warm welcome to the Asia Economic Dialogue 2024. My name is Vandana Saxena-Poria, and as your guider of ceremonies, it is my honor to guide you through this intellectual voyage, a convergence of minds, ideas, and visions for a more sustainable and equitable future for Asia and our world. For the past 4 years, the Asia Economic Dialogue has been the beacon of economic discourse, illuminating pathways toward progress. And today we stand on the shoulders of previously shared wisdom, having explored themes such as post-COVID global trade and finance dynamics, resilient global economic growth in a post-pandemic world, and Asia and the emerging world order. These themes have shaped our understanding, challenged our assumptions, and propelled us to actionable solutions. Much of what was discussed last year was an excellent precursor to topics and outcomes of the B20 and G20, which India delivered on towards the tail end of 2023. Now, in this era of flux, where the tides of change sweep across the continents, we gather once again. With Russia, Ukraine, Palestine, Israel, and troubles in the Red Sea, we are staring at a grim and uncertain future. The impact of recession looms for much of the world. So our theme for AED 2024, Geoeconomic Challenges in an Era of Flux, is not merely a title, it's a compass. It points us towards the intricate intersection of geopolitics and economics. Here we navigate the seas of our ever-changing world, seeking clarity amidst complexity to create a shared future. Asia is, of course, the cradle of many civilizations, the engine of growth, and the fulcrum of global dynamics. Within its borders lies both challenges and opportunities. And as we deliberate, let's remember that our canvas extends beyond national boundaries. It encompasses the ambitions of billions, the resilience of communities, and the aspirations of generations yet unborn that we in this room owe a duty to. Our conference is more than a gathering, it's a crucible of ideas. Thought leaders, policymakers, and subject matter experts converge here to engage in dialogue. We dissect shifting economic paradigms, navigate trade tensions, and decode the evolving geopolitical landscapes. So brace yourselves for candid conversations, bold hypotheses, and paradigm-shifting revelations. And remember, the deliberations that have here will not be confined to these walls. They will echo across boardrooms, policy corridors, and academic institutions. AED 2024 is not just a conference, it is a catalyst, an impetus for action. So thank you, and let our dialogue begin. I would like to invite Ambassador Gautam Bambawale, convener of AED 2024, former High Commissioner to Pakistan and former Ambassador to China and Bhutan, to give the formal introduction. Thank you very much, Ambassador Bambawale.
Thank you, Vandana. Dr. Mashelkar, President of the Pune International Center, Dr. Vijay Kelkar, Vice President of the Pune International Center, Ambassador Vinay Quatra, Foreign Secretary of India, Ambassador Seva Lamsal, Foreign Secretary of Nepal, Ambassador Masood bin Momin, Foreign Secretary of Bangladesh, General A.K. Singh, GOC&C Southern Command, ladies and gentlemen, friends. It is my great honor to welcome all of you to the 2024 edition of the Asia Economic Dialogue. As some of you may know, but not all of you, this is the 5th year running that the Pune International Center is hosting this particular dialogue. The first three editions of this dialogue were held in Mumbai, and then we had the immense pleasure and honor of shifting it and moving it to Pune because our city of Pune is becoming more important in the national and international scheme of things. In the year 2020, and then later in 23 and now in 24, we have held this dialogue physically as we're doing today. It was in 21 and 2022 that we had to hold this dialogue virtually because of the COVID problem, the COVID crisis. This particular year, we decided that the theme of the Asia Economic Dialogue would be geo-economic challenges in an era of flux. The reason is that the last few years have seen great changes, great flux, great challenges in geopolitics, in geoeconomics, and geostrategy. The COVID crisis, which impacted lives and livelihoods, and that was followed by the Russia-Ukraine war, which is now well into its second year, into its third year. And more recently, we have had the Hamas-Palestinian issue, all of which have impacted energy prices, food prices, and economies across the globe. Some economies are already in recession, others are in danger of falling in recession, but we will focus later on what's happening here in our region, namely South Asia. On this occasion, let me once again say to all of you that we have an excellent program over the next 2.5 days. We're going to be talking about generative AI. We're going to be talking about India's place in the world of IT. We're going to be talking about the future automobile and future fuels. We're going to be talking about drones, a technology whose time has come. So all of this awaits you over the next few days. I welcome all of you once again to this 2024 edition of the Asia Economic Dialogue. Thank you for being with us, and I hope you enjoy this dialogue as much as I think I will be. Thank you, and good evening.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Bambawale. It's clear that this is going to be like a canvas where ideas collide, futures converge, and change finds its voice. Okay, now I would like to invite onto the stage Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar, President of Pune International Center, to give his opening remarks. Please give him a round of applause.
Our beloved Vice President, Dr. Vijay Kerkar, Ambassador Vinay Katraji, India's distinguished Foreign Secretary, Ambassador Siva Lamsal, Foreign Secretary of Nepal, Ambassador Masood bin Momen, Foreign Secretary of Bangladesh, Ambassador Gautam Bambawale, the convener of AED 2024. I must say, the Gautam Bambawale, because this event would not be there without his leadership. So Gautam, our very special thanks to you. Distinguished eminence that I see in front of me, I will not take name, there are too many of you. Eminent speakers and participants from across the world, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to warmly welcome you to the 8th Asia Economic Dialogue. As was mentioned, it is the 5th Asia Economic Dialogue in a row by Pune International Center on behalf of the Ministry of External Affairs. At the very outset, I'd like to say how grateful we are to our Honorable Minister of External Affairs, Dr. Jaishankar, for his continued support, continued guidance, continued inspiration. I also acknowledge our new partnership with ORF, India's globally recognized leading think tank, with whom we are partnering in many of our key programs now. Just a few words about PIC. In a journey of over a decade, PIC has become India's leading action-oriented public policy research think tank. It has very strong research verticals in the areas of national security, energy, environment, and climate change, economic reforms, and urbanization, and science and technology, and the national innovation ecosystem. We also have strong programs on social innovation, where we mentor and support social innovators from across the country. We always emphasize that Pune International Center is an international center in Pune. Our housing, the international geo-economic conferences in the form of flagship annual conference is just one of the many manifestations of PIC's global outreach programs. After battling for 2 years of the COVID-19 pandemic, which was an unprecedented crisis in itself, there was unfortunately no respite. The world was immediately thrown into one crisis after another, with regional conflicts in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, in West Asia, and the impact of economic slowdown in many countries and the challenges of new technologies. VUCA, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, seems to be the new normal as though. Our theme of AED 2024 this year is therefore geo-economic challenges in the new era of flux or era of flux. This era of flux arises due to several challenges, as we know. First, the rapid pace of technological advancement presents challenges in disrupting traditional industries and labor markets, leading to job displacement and skill gaps. Second, the escalating impacts of climate change, such as extreme weather events and rising sea levels, pose significant economic challenges in terms of adaptation costs, resource scarcity, infrastructure resilience, affecting industries ranging from agriculture to tourism all the way. Third, the income inequality within and between countries exasperates social tensions and hampers economic growth by limiting access to education, to healthcare, and opportunities for upward mobility, creating barriers to sustainable development. Fourth, trade tensions, protectionist policies, and geopolitical instability disrupt global supply chains, impede cross-border investment, and create uncertainty for businesses, leading to market volatility and hindering economic integration and growth. And fifth, aging populations and declining birth rates in many regions pose challenges such as increased healthcare and pension costs, labor force shortages, and reduced consumer spending, impacting economic productivity and fiscal sustainability. And despite these heavy winds, in the AED 2024, we wish to focus on strategies for growth, strategies for cooperation among Asian nations, and especially in South Asia. It is obvious that on one hand, there is a great potential to enhance South Asia's resilience to external shocks and uncertainties in the global scenario. But on the other hand, there is an enormous potential to unlock significant growth potential by promoting trade, by investment, by productivity gains across borders, leading to increased job creation, income generation, and poverty reduction. We can collectively address common challenges such as infrastructure deficits, trade barriers, skill shortages, leveraging shared resources and expertise to overcome barriers to growth. It will also allow us to access larger regional markets, tapping into diverse consumer base and expanding opportunities for export-oriented industries, thus stimulating innovation, competitiveness, and economies of scale. By the way, I'm a scientist. I do science, technology, and innovation, so must talk about innovation. I remember that in 2010, for World Bank, I had authored a report on building innovation ecosystem in South Asia. I went through it this morning again, and I found that many of the things were said at that time are still valid. Maybe we need to revisit it. But in any case, integration, inclusion, innovation, and investment are the 4 pillars on which we can make our inspiring dream of 21st century as Asia's century happen. This year, we have a total of 46 speakers from 11 nations as participating in this conference in total 12 exciting sessions. You will see exciting sessions like impact of generative AI on organizations and society in one such. In fact, we can't do any meeting nowadays without talking about AI and generative AI, and we have the best of the minds talk about it. We look at the impact of the New India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. We even discuss the emergence of third globalization, but our emphasis is on opportunities and challenges in creating a more integrated South Asia. Finally, I want to extend a very warm welcome to you on behalf of our beloved city of Pune. It's a great city of culture, of education, of research and innovation, and now it is also known as Vaccine City, as you know. This beautiful poem, normally it is unusual to give a poem in a presidential remarks, but I will do so because innovation is the key, doing it differently. So here is a poem that I liked very much, which describes the great city of Pune eloquently. In Pune's ancient streets, echoes of Maratha valor resound. Culture's tapestry views through its vibrant ground, a scholarly heaven where minds ignite and wisdom's flame. Minds ignite and wisdom's flame. Innovation thrives as dreams and ideas claim their fame. In its beating heart, history meets innovation's embrace. And some of you had visits to historical Shanwarwada, I believe, yesterday and today. And Pune, at the end, is a city where the past and future interface. I might like to add a word, because we talk about innovation. Yesterday, our Honorable Prime Minister, we had a historical event. It was, of course, National Science Day. As you know, the climate crisis is leading us to green hydrogen, new hydrogen economy, and India's very first indigenous fuel cell technology, where Pune participated, KPIT Technology, as an industrial partner, National Chemical Laboratory. They partnered to create a new breakthrough technology, which is ahead of the curve as far as the world is concerned. And also, everything, every single component is indigenous. That was launched by our Honorable Prime Minister yesterday. You must have seen the news. That makes us very, very proud indeed. I hope our foreign as well as outstation delegates will be able to savor the charm and beauty of our lovely Pune. Finally, looking at the extent of participation, the quality of participants, and that of the deliberations, and finally the impact of AED so far, some of our well-wishers have been saying that AED is clearly emerging as Davos of Asia. It's good to hear that, but I know we are not there as yet. But on behalf of our family of PIC, I want to assure the nation that we at PIC will do everything to live up to not only the expectation, but even go beyond to create a Davos Plus in years to come. And the good news to end, we have been holding these AED conferences in a good hotel like this and good premises like this. But next year, I want to extend in advance an invitation to you, February 2025, when we hold AED 2025. I'm very happy to say that our new magnificent campus is coming up and it will be ready to welcome you. It is not too far from here, and it's going to be in the midst of an intellectual hub surrounding 12 great institutions of education, research, innovation, and enterprise. Again, a very, very warm welcome to you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mashelkar. Ladies and gentlemen, who more fitting to hear from than the author of the widely acclaimed best-selling book, The India Way, Strategies for an Uncertain World, and recipient of the Padma Shri Award. I am, of course, talking about a huge supporter who was here with us in person last year. It's the External Affairs Minister, Jaishankar. So if we could have his video played, please.
Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar, Ambassador Gautam Bambawale, Foreign Secretary Vinay Quatra, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear students. I am truly delighted to address the 8th Asia Economic Dialogue. In the years that have passed, I note that the dialogue has emerged as a prominent forum on geoeconomics. This edition focuses very appropriately on the geoeconomic challenges of our times. Today, these broadly fall into three categories. One is the supply chain challenge that has arisen from a particular economic hardwiring created by the globalization era. Whether it is finished products, intermediates, or components, the world is dangerously dependent on a limited number of suppliers. Even as importers, the production centers have built their own sourcing chains. How to introduce greater resilience and reliability is today central to de-risking the global economy. All of us need more options and must work to create them. The second is the technology challenge, which grows by the day, given our reliance on it for more aspects of our daily life. The digital era has given it an altogether different connotation because it is so intrusive. It is not just our interests that are at stake, but often the most personal of our decisions and choices. Such an era demands more trust and transparency. But in fact, we are seeing the reverse where technology providers are concerned. The third is the challenge of over-concentrations stemming from the nature of globalization. They are heightened by unpredictability and opaqueness. We discovered this most sharply during the COVID period. But from time to time, we are also reminded when market dominance is weaponized. For the global south, this is particularly serious given the extent of its dependence. These three phenomena have come together particularly impactfully when we consider the evolution of critical and emerging technologies. And we all know that this is indeed the era of AI, of EVs, chips, green and clean technologies. What we are confronting is no longer a matter of comparative economic advantage, if it ever was. We are actually talking about the future of the global order. Where do the solutions lie? There are no easy answers, nor indeed a limited number of them. To create a more safe, secure and cooperative world, we clearly need greater international cooperation. Only that can serve to mitigate unilateral demands, economic domination or technology assertions. For India, this means moving across a broad front of domains that all contribute to comprehensive national power. It requires a massive upgrade of our skills base. It suggests an environment that promotes startups and talent. It will benefit from easier to do business and a modern infrastructure. But most of all, it demands robust manufacturing that alone can provide the foundation for technology development. As the most populous country that will be the third largest economy very soon, our goals and ambitions cannot be determined by the goodwill of others. We must build deep national strengths during the Amrit Kal that will drive the transition towards becoming a developed economy and a leading power. This is the vision of the Modi government, and our initiatives and programs of the last decade are aimed to this very end. Perhaps there is no better audience to appreciate it than one in Pune, which has such a long record of industrial manufacturing. I thank you all for your attention and wish you productive deliberation.
I think the Minister has set the benchmark for all of our speakers and for all of you to help India develop in the way he suggested.